expectation on this guy? Go for it,
All right,
bro.
then. Before I get to my expectations, I think I should shed a bit of light on the impacts that Declan Rice's move from West Ham to Arsenal has had probably right now. I think, first of all, we just need to state the fact that he's the most expensive British player right now in world football, and he's one of the most expensive midfielders, if I'm not mistaken. Or rather, ahead of Enzo right now because his fee was a bit more than Enzo's own. So, I mean, Declan Rice move to Arsenal is huge. Not just huge for the individual himself, but huge for Arsenal as well. For the last couple of years, Arsenal fans have been clamoring for the club to make big money signings because we did say last season you cannot compete with the big boys if you do not have quality in depth. Now, yeah, some Arsenal fans will argue Granit Xhaka has left, right? But then they signed Kai Havertz, who we expect to play in that left-sided central midfield position. But then Declan Rice comes in, Thomas Partey is still at the club. So we're asking questions, what exactly is going to happen? And more on Declan Rice's fee, just before I get into team talks, and considering how much Arsenal has spent this transfer window. We signed Kai Havertz for £65 million, signed Jurgen Timber for £34.6 million, and then people will see the £100 million pound price tag with £5 million in additions, But brilliantly, Arsenal took a page out of Chelsea's script talking about the owners of Chelsea. Now, the fee for Declan Rice is not going to be paid immediately. It's going to be spread over 24 months.
Wow.
Right? So West Ham will receive the fee of the £100 million over 2 years. But you know what? In terms of finances, it's already looking like great business because in 2 days, Arsenal have made £35 million in shirt sales with Declan Rice's name on the jersey and his number. So, I mean, that's about 12% of what they spent already made back. So, you know that that's basically good business.
Good business.
Now Declan Rice coming into the Arsenal squad, and what should Arsenal fans expect? First of all, it is clear that he's going to be playing in midfield. Where in midfield now is the question. I look at the game against Nuremberg, Arsenal's first official preseason game, and I could see that Ben White was playing more inverted than usual. A lot of times last season, it was Zinchenko that occupied that inverted role, and then you have Ben White as one of the three centre-backs. He was more inverted than usual. That obviously means to me that Jurgen Timber would be playing in that role. He would be giving Ben White a run for his money, and there will be times where Jurgen Timber would start ahead of Ben White in that right back role. But now, talking about Declan Rice, where does he fit in? The first thing that comes to mind is that Thomas Partey is displaced. But taking a look at Thomas Partey, who has been the glue for Arsenal, for the last 2 seasons, how do you displace someone like that? It's not easy. The best thing for Arsenal to do is actually to sell Thomas Partey and bring in another player who would be a good number for him, a good backup for him, someone in Romeo Lavia of Southampton who has been rumored to possibly be joining Arsenal. Rumor has it as well that Arsenal are not closing their eyes to Felipe Caicedo, who has been in a topsy-turvy romance with Chelsea for, the best part of this transfer window. So time will tell exactly. Partey did not follow the squad to the US. There are no clear reports as to why he has not joined up with the squad. Arsenal only said he will join the squad alongside with Emil Smith-Rowe next week. Rumor has it that he has actually agreed a deal with an unnamed Saudi club, and it's just a matter of time till the deal is announced. Personally, I do not want Thomas Partey to go. I can only imagine Thomas Partey in that regular number 6 role and having Declan Rice just ahead of him. And then you would have Kai Havertz as an impact player from the bench. But then you think about it, a £65 million player, what would he be doing on the bench? He really doesn't seem feasible. And that only takes my attention to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta transitioning the team from the way we play with 4 defenders to 3 at the back, majorly to accommodate someone like Declan Rice, playing the same style of football that Manchester City did towards the end of last season. So I'm talking about a 3-1-4-2. So you have rather a 3-2-4-1. So you have the 3 centre backs. Most likely you would have a Gabriel, you would have a Saliba, who, as far as I'm concerned, is untouchable in that team, and a Ben White. The double pivots you would expect to either be Zinchenko and Declan Rice, or Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. But it's quite difficult to see how Zinchenko will be taken out of the team, considering that he has spent only 1 season and he's also seen as an impact player in the Arsenal squad. And then the 4 going forward then gives license to Kai Havertz to be a mainstay in the Arsenal squad. the four going forward, you would have Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and up front, Gabriel Jesus. So I could see that from the game against Nuremberg, I could say that the fullbacks were more inverted than usual. I saw that with Gabriel, rather with Yakukiwo. I saw that with Ben White. So it seems to me that they might slowly be progressing towards that. However, time will tell on how exactly Declan Rice would fit into this Arsenal squad. But at the end of the day, he's a quality signing. You know he's going to hit the ground running. Either he's playing as a lone number 4, as the holding midfielder, but he's playing as a box-to-box midfielder. You know he has the qualities, he can do that. In terms of, giving accurate passes, long, short, in terms of scoring goals, he's right up there, being a threat in midfield. But most importantly, is the mentality that this young man has. At the age of 23, captaining West Ham to win their first European trophy in 102 years, already a mainstay in the English squad, can effectively play as a centre-back and a holding midfielder. But it's that winning mentality, it's that leadership ability, which Arsenal lacked maybe in the last 2 seasons before. But now you have more winners into the team. You have people who are going to, drive their teammates to success. Declan Rice said it himself, look, enough of FA Cups and Community Shields. It's time for Arsenal to go ahead to win the Premier League and to win the Champions League. But yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. Oh my goodness, Arsenal fans. Prof, help me. You remember how we did last season?
No, this
All right,
season is going to be a lot tougher. They look stronger, Arsenal football. But personally, I think I understand the analysis that Okwe gave. But personally, I'm seeing something different with this Arsenal team and what Arteta wants to do. I think he wants to go back to. Obviously, we know how important it was in the Man City side, especially the Centurion side. I think he wants to go back to that 4-3-3 formation that City used at the time with Raheem Sterling and Sane on the width, and I think Aguero up front. Then they used David Silva, De Bruyne, and Fernandinho. So what he wants to do, and then at that time, the fullbacks didn't move; they were inverted. That was when he came and introduced the inverted fullbacks. And because I saw the clips, I saw the highlights of the friendlies. Like Okwe said, the fullbacks right now they're not moving. He used Kiwo on left back. I think he used Timber or was it White he used on the right, and then both of them Ben White, and both of them are inverted, and that was how City did with the Centurion side. Both fullbacks were inverted. They had a lone DMF, and they had almost 2 AMF in David Silva and De Bruyne, and 2 wingers who were flying forward in Sterling and Sane, and so I think he might want to go that using Rice. I think he might want to duplicate that sort of formation. Also, it's still yet to be seen. He could as well go to the 3 at the back, like Okwe said. But me personally, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you've done something last season that's worked for you. For me, it was more of a mentality issue that made people stumble, and maybe a squad a depth in squad. Yeah, that maybe the injuries here and there. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, you're changing a massive. It's the engine room here. Thomas Partey and Xhaka, who understood each other, who were very, very fantastic for the majority of the season. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like, you're changing that now. I think there's still a lot left. We don't know what we're going to get from that Arsenal engine. I mean, we know what we're going to get from the defense and the attack, but that midfield, I know Rice is a quality player, but it's a different ball game now. He knows he has to step up because it's not West Ham now. It is Arsenal football. You'll be playing in the Champions League. Rice will be expected to start every game in the Champions League and also in the Premier League. So there'll be massive pressure on him. Can he do it alone in that middle of the park, losing Partey? Do you guys need to go into the market again and sign somebody so that that will pair with him? What is the formation going to look like with Havertz in there? The other day Arteta was saying that time will tell where Havertz will play. It shows he himself is sort of looking for. He will be using this international break to look for a position for him. So I think the whole thing is on Arteta's table. Would see what he's going to do with the team. But personally, I think they're a little bit weaker if they lose, Partey and Xhaka like they have done already. It's just replacing him with Rice alone. I think they'll be weaker in the middle of the park.
All right. Thank you so much on that. Prof. Ace is joining us this evening. Ace, what's your take on this Declan Rice? I think next season you guys have to win the league for me. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's good to be on the show, man. Good evening, everybody. No pressure. Don't put pressure on us, man. Don't put pressure. We just want to enjoy it. Yeah, rice.
The
Yeah,
pressure,
rice,
the
rice, rice.
pressure is already on you guys. So chill.
Well, there's no pressure, man. There's no pressure.
Are you
If the
sure,
pressure is
bro?
not on, if the pressure is only on Arsenal, then why is Eric Ten Hag stripping Maguire of the captaincy, of the captain?
We knew
So it
what
shows the
happened
pressure
last
is
season. It
everywhere now.
was not.
The pressure is everywhere. Just a piece of
Yeah, it's
advice. I think
everywhere.
you guys should just get Maguire off your wage bill, because if I'm Maguire, I'm here to stay. I'm not moving an inch, and I'll collect every penny. But that's by the way. Declan Rice,
Yes.
it's I saw one funny, Twitter, Nigerian Twitter were very intuitive, very innovative. I saw one picture where someone made like edited Declan Rice jersey and say a bag of rice is now 41k. You know,
Oh, my
Nigerians are so
country.
good. But the
I'm
thing
telling
is,
you.
I've heard what Okwe said and I've heard what Prof said. This signings really, nobody can really say this is what Ateta is going to do. It's all permutation, it's
Hmm.
all combination, it's all
Hmm.
theories that we're just wrapping up. But only Ateta knows what he's going to do, and I'm so sure that Ateta and his team they are not naive. They know what they're doing. Like I said, they know what they've been building. So they are not just going to throw everything away and say because we're signing new players, so therefore let's start all over again. No, it's still going to be a build up from last season. It's still going to be an addition to what they've been doing for the past 2 or 3 seasons, if I may say. Because Declan Rice coming in, I would like Partey to stay, because I've been hearing news all around saying Partey has agreed with the Saudi Arabian team. And though we've not heard officially from the main guys that we hear from, which is Fabrizio and David Oyston,
Yeah.
it's all the ITKs on Twitter that just keeps posting Partey has agreed personal deal with the Saudi Arabian club. They are not even mentioning the Saudi Arabian club. That's why I'm not a bit worried about that, because Partey himself came a few weeks ago to say he would love to play Champions League football with Arsenal. And that was the reason he joined Arsenal, to take Arsenal back to Champions League. And now that Arsenal is there, he's here to stay. He doesn't want to go. But football, anything can happen. Things happen so fast. Money rules, money talks. But Declan Rice addition to Arsenal, he can play as a 6, he can play as an 8, he can play as a central defender. And this has always been what this has always been what Arteta wanted in every player he wants to sign. Players that can play multiple roles. Players that can, deputize if somebody is injured. At least with Declan Rice coming in, it gives that midfield a bit of a reshape, and or he can even just slot in straight into the role Shaka left. Because I was looking at Declan Rice comps on, so someone did a compilation of Declan Rice video of Declan Rice past games with West Ham, playing in that box to box kind of playing in that Shaka role that Shaka played last season.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head that if Declan Rice steps into that role, oh my God, is how many goals did we score last season? I think we scored 80 something goals. Because one, he knows how to score, he knows the back of the net, he knows how to find the back of the net. And if Arteta could just deploy him where he deployed Shaka last season, it's just going to take Arsenal from this level to the next level. Maybe we pray he doesn't get injured. Maybe we pray he doesn't have this lengthy injury, stays fit. And I just see Arsenal, getting solidified. And if Man City there makes that mistake that they made last season, whereby they allowed us to have that run, possibly lightning don't strike twice. Possibly Arsenal might nick this one, but I'm not saying we're winning the trophy. I'm saying we're winning the league. But I just see us. We've strengthened. There will be some exit. To confirm that today, that some players would exit, exit through the door, and possibly there will be a new addition. But in my own opinion, I feel we're still short a bit.
Yeah.
Only if we can get a striker. I've always of the opinion if we can get a striker, if we want to compete in the league, if we want to compete in the Champions League, if we can do our maths properly in terms of net spend, players out, players coming in, like Ope said, we've already made £5 million out of the 105 million pounds that we signed Declan Rice. That's over 30% or close to 30% of the sign-on fee, which was supposed to pay in 24 months. That's money recouped wisely. And I don't mind us going in for Osimhen, because if you really want to win, you really want to make a statement, this is our club. So I don't mind us going in for Osimhen. It's my wish. If I was in that board, I'll be saying, let us go in for Osimhen. The likes of Nketiah, the likes of Balogun can go on loan. If we want to compete, we shouldn't be relying on the likes of Nketiah, relying on the likes of Balogun. Even Jesus is not the striker that will give you 25. Gabriel Jesus, I mean, he's not the player that will give you. He's not guaranteed to give you 25, 30 goals in the season. So we need that kind of striker that we can mix things up. I keep saying it. Arteta needs to mix things up. You'll definitely be found out, which happened last season. And when it got to crunch time, we couldn't mix things up. A player, someone in the ilk of Sime will give us different dimension, will give us different dynamics in terms of offense and in terms of playing, or especially when we're home, when those players will sit at the back and defend. Someone like Osimhen can give us a different in style of play. So Declan Rice is a good signing, and I wish Arsenal the very best in the coming season.
Yeah, but Ace, who would you? Ace made a statement. He said he wants Declan Rice in the box-to-box role. So who's going to play the four, the DMF role?
Partey stays. If Partey stays,
but Opa is saying now that Partey did not travel. They didn't travel.
Well, it was on the Arsenal's website. I think for one reason or the other, they said they will be joining. Partey and Emo Smith Rowe didn't go. He has not joined, but they will be joining next week. So I guess maybe there are still issues that the issues of this rape allegation is still there. Possibly that's what he wants to try to. I'm just saying. I'm just postulating.
All right, let's move on to this one.
Subscribe now.